And greetings and salutations, dear friends. Technicals Tinkers here, checking in on our little 3D printing experiment for today. I own a business and it has nothing to do with 3D printing, so I'm spinning up this 3D printing thing here at home to test out the viability, learn about the process all throughout, and I'm documenting everything here. It's just exhibitions, not instructional, so join me. I'm doing some giveaways. 2,000 subscribers very soon, gonna do another giveaway there. So what am I working on today? Well, got another sale here. I've noticed that the volume of crypto mining based stuff has picked up a little bit. That's like 3 sales within a week of mainly the shrouds, and those are for a specific type of crypto miner, probably because the prices of crypto are going up really high, and so people are buying the miners again. So that's certainly welcome, and that's what we're working on here on the Soval, doing an extra couple of the shrouds to replenish our backstock. Up here on Cobras 1 and 2, we've got our Colt Python model doing the cylinder here. Over here, still doing the boxes for the character model, and it's getting real close. I mean, like, it's within probably a few minutes, with under an hour to finish those out. Down here on Cobra number 3, the front and the whole barrel assembly for the revised Colt Python. And down here we did have yet another failure due to the filament. Very end is this 3 kilogram spool, which I got to get more of these. Special shout out to the guy that told me about tangled filament. I'm going to check them out. But the very end of the spool gets caught up here, and this little hook ends up just catching and pulling the entire bracket in, and it hooks. It doesn't extrude, and it just fails, all from that little bit right there. Someone was telling me, it's like, oh yeah, you just got to be sure to clip the end. But I appreciate the suggestion, but like, how would I know when it's getting towards the end of the spool? And there's never a good explanation for how to do that. Well, oh well, you just set a timer, or you just remember. When people tell me to just remember something, no, it doesn't work like that. I have a millennial brain. I grew up in the computer age. My brain doesn't retain anything. I need a technological device to tell me, and I have to remember to use the technological device, and I prefer not to do that. I prefer it to just work instead of catching on there. So I think maybe a revision to that bracket to keep it from twisting in should resolve things. But that's not like a very super ultra common occurrence. Over here on the P1P, our character model, the heads, what I did was I took them and flipped them around because I kept getting failure when I printed her braids down. So now I'm printing her neck down, but at a little angle because her braids are like really long. She's got this like Rapunzel type thing going. Oh, you can probably see it. Yeah, see her braids start out there and they slope up. Overall, it was significant. It was like 30% faster on the overall print. Filament usage was about the same. I was only concerned about the supports making her face kind of rough, but overall it doesn't look too bad. We got our plate of hands and feet over here, and there they are. So those will go with the character model. Once those boxes are done, I could probably go ahead and glue everything up except for the heads, because the heads just pop in, and we'll be good to go from there. And finally, Big Bertha, what you working on? The dyno head, 63% done. A day and a half remains. Very, very long print. I think once this is done, I'm going to print the lower section of the jawbone just with all the same settings and get that done. But after that, I'm 100% going to switch to the 1mm nozzle, because I'm not going for fine detail on this machine. I'm going for size, and layer lininess is not really a concern. So I think the 1mm nozzle is going to be key, because I want to run it slow and hot. So I need a thicker layer line, because, I mean, 4.5 days for a print. I mean, it's cool, but that's really a long time. Being completely honest, I've been talking about how there's a lot of anxiety with this print. Like, I'm worried about failure because it's so much filament. But now I have a new anxiety. A new anxiety has entered the arena, and that is weight. And that's for really this particular model. What I mean is that the model's kind of balanced, sure, but the overall contact surface on the plate versus like the center of gravity, I guess, of the model, like, it seems kind of balanced, but obviously, you know, you can tell there's more material favoring this side. And so as it goes up, my worry is that it's so heavy that gravity is, while just a theory, I'm pretty sure gravity exists, and I'm worried that it's going to get so high up that just these micro vibrations might cause the model to just tip over. So in the future, maybe, you know, should this work out, maybe adding some supports here just for like peace of mind supports or something like that. Because that's, I mean, am I wrong to think that that's an issue? Otherwise, the quality of the model's coming out great. I mean, the little layer lining, sure, you can see it, but, you know, considering the size and everything, the overhangs, the organic nature of this, I think it looks fantastic. All right, and so on the docket for today, continuing trying to get those pieces of the Colt Python printed out, restart the one that failed, you know, replace the filament on that. Got those shrouds coming off. I'm also going to be printing an egg dispenser, like for inside your refrigerator, something for the mother-in-law. So kind of a personal print getting worked into the mix there. And then hopefully, I believe that the P1P should finish up those character heads today. And then once those are off and I like everything worked out and I don't need to print anything else for those character models, glue them all up, get the listing back on the Etsy, make the revisions because it is a little smaller. And then I think start in on the next character model print or potentially replacing one of them. And I was also thinking about going back into the Devil Girl, which is kind of the one that started it all, that I was having so many support settings with. Starting with a fresh model, a simplified model with a thicker layer height, and with everything I've learned through this process over the past, you know, what, month and a half, couple months, taking another stab at it because I believe that is one of the stronger models. Additionally, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to swing the vlog this week. I will vlog every day, even if it's just a short video. But starting today, I do have to actually set up barriers inside the 3D print garage area because I have to quarantine my dogs in there for Thanksgiving. My dogs can't be around other people. They'll bark nonstop. So going to be working on that as well. So expect changes there. At least I'll have, you know, a free garage to work around in. Additionally, you guys really aren't going to like this one. If you didn't like the character models, you're really not going to like this. So this is let's call it a candy dish. Someone, my wife actually, because she's an even bigger edgelord than I am, showed me as someone who prints like little Tykes play school toys or whatever that are meant for like adult things. So it's like you know, a play school version of like an SMT WTFS, like a daily pill dispenser, or ashtrays, you know, Ozempic injectors, things like that. It's kind of just a fun sort of Instagram thing. It's not 3D printed, but I'm like, you know, I could probably 3D print something like that. And so she showed me, if I can find a picture of it, it's like that kid's turtle sandbox. And it would made it into an ashtray. And I was like, well, you know, you can't really 3D print that because ashtrays, you know, ashes are hot. But what I could do is get an ashtray and 3D print something around it. And that might be a cool little thing, especially because my stores are smoke shops. They sell candy dishes like these. And so, you know, if I would print those up, maybe sell them in stores, might get some blowback on that if it's like, you know, a kid's toy type thing, but it's an ashtray. But, you know, we'll see. Well, you know, if, you know, maybe people kind of get the idea or what, you know, obviously I'm not trying to sell this to children, but thought it was a cute idea nonetheless. Give those things and myself a few hours to shake out, and then we'll check back in. I'll tell you, man, all this drives me absolutely insane. I don't know if you noticed, like the rest of my house or my office, like I've got a lot of storage. I started putting in storage down here too. I can't stand seeing clutter. My brain turns off in the presence of clutter. I know a lot of people like clutter, feel like they do better creative work. Not me. Nope, not one bit. Even this stuff up here, I store it up there for lack of anywhere else to put it because it's so big, but I just can't stand this. So really struggling, and maybe that's on the list for today, like find a way to hide it. All right, and it is time for the midday update. Let's take a look at things. I haven't looked at any of this yet, so it could be some catastrophic failures. Everything looks to be okay. Let's take a little closer look. Number one, up here, got our cylinder section, so that's good. Nothing there. Down here on Cobra 3, we're doing the barrels. Those look to be pretty good adhesion. And down here, we restarted the print on our center section of the Colt Python. It's usually back here at the hammer that's like the most failure-iest place. But it's looking pretty good. The character model, yes, our scaling was completely off. And it was off everywhere. The bodies were at 400% of size, the heads are at 500%, the hands and feet were at 600% of size, and the boxes were at 500% of size. It was just all over the place. It was just me moving too quickly, I guess, but overall it's not too bad. So what I'm gonna have to do is reprint, at this point, just the bodies, the main bodies, and luckily they actually don't take too long because everything else is at 500%. It's not like we burned a ton of filament, and maybe I can repurpose them, but I think 500%, I don't want to use the 400% sized bodies because they're a little on the smaller end. All right, so let's see if we can, is this cool enough for me to yoink? All right, so let's take this in the office and see how it came out. And bear with me, one day I'll figure out my audio. Audio's always been my weakest spot. Well, audio and video. Well, audio and video and actually having a personality. Audio, video, having a personality, and coming up with things to actually make videos about. But one day I'll figure all those things out. Anyway, our Colt Python here, this is the smaller version. That was the mistake. But I had all the parts for it, and I'm like, you know what? I can just go ahead and glue the cylinder in versus trying to do that spinny thing and just put on the Etsy as like a one of one. But then I got to looking at it, and I'm like, you know, this is big. You know, it's as long as the Glock. And so do I necessarily need to make it into two parts? Because I could probably get away with shipping this and not getting into oversized charges. So I just went ahead and glued it all together. I went to Lowe's and I went to Walmart to get some paint for it because I want to do this one in a little more metallic-y type of gray, like a not quite chrome, but something a little like aluminum finish. So I went and got some of that. Here's an interesting tidbit from the Walmart trip. So a fun fact about this Walmart, this is a famous Walmart. This is the Walmart where the rapper DaBaby shot and killed a man. Let's go. I pull up. Fender Lamborghini in the cop car. Yeah, very interesting stuff, right? So anyway, got this glued together. I'm gonna slap a coat of paint on it, and then I'm gonna slap a turkey neck when it's hanging from a pigeon wing. Our model here, our little character model, I mean, these are coming off great. So again, like I've been saying 1,000 times, like I did this model back when I was really green with the character model settings. I was still trying to figure it all out, and the first model actually just came out pretty good. It's not like I'm really great at it now, but I have certainly gotten better. I mean, it's coming off really clean. This is all matte PLA, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy some regular yellow PLA to get some like shinier finish, because yellow, I think this looks better when it's shiny instead of matte, but the finish actually did come out pretty good. I mean, it's kind of good. These matte PLAs on these character models, you know, it just seems to work good. Now I gotta be careful around her face here. I don't want to damage her face because on the model she's like looking up, and so that's, you know, if someone's looking at the model to enjoy it or admire it, you know, it's the first thing they're going to look at is her face. So I really don't want to cause any damage here. We'll see if trying to film this stuff, and okay, it came off in one big go, which is usually a good thing. But maybe not in this instance. We'll see. Hey, it's not too bad. Not there yet. A few more. And see, normally I would like kind of just snip these small parts, but I noticed that when the snips come together, it pushes the top of the support and the bottom down, and that extra push, I've had at some points damage it. So I'm kind of doing this twist thing or working it back and forth, but I think, do we have a winner? We got to get her chin off. That's why I really don't like doing these character models face down. I like their faces to be straight up, so it's like no support contact. But unfortunately, due to the nature of this model with their long, you know, braids here, it was kind of the only way to fly. Came out pretty good. I mean, it's a little layer lining because I'm only doing it at a 0.2. But again, the name of the game with these is not to try to get this like insane resin level detail. It's really just to like get the gist. And if you're looking at it like that, you know, sure, if you look at it like that, if you want to be a snob about it. But I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to start using my big blowtorch to do these. I know people use heat guns, but when you do it with fire, it's, you know, kind of like living on the edge a little bit. It's like, you know, put all this work into this model, but one wrong move, you know, and it could spell disaster. But that's me. They call me Matt Extreme because I live on the edge with these kind of things. Anyway, that came out pretty good. You're gonna have to redo the bodies, but overall, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna be able to put 3 of these in stock, mark them down to that, you know, that price that I had put in the video yesterday, about $100. And yeah, hopefully make the sales, or at the very minimum, you know, can kind of watch the traffic and see if there's a lot more If there continues to be a lot of people looking at it but not pulling the trigger, then I can adjust accordingly. Someone else was saying too, and I'm hopeful someone else can maybe chime in on this, that for the character models, maybe I should start advertising them as like, you know, 1/8 scale, 1/10 scale, 1/16 scale, etc., because that seems to be the common designator that or sizing descriptor that people use for character models. That makes sense. I never thought to do that. My only question is what I'm basing it on, because like with cars, like RC cars, you know, I run 1/10 scale cars, and I just know that it means that the car is 1/10 the size of the real car. But when I'm doing character models, you know, how do I know how big she's supposed to be? Is there like just a standard or like a range? Like, you know, most girls are, you know, between 5'2" and 5'6" or somewhere in that range, and so you just kind of take that and say, all right, well, the model's this high, and then you derive your scale from there. Is that how it works? Let me know if you know that in the comments below, because I would like to go back through and make those adjustments if people are looking at it, because often I'll label them as large, extra large. Again, appreciate all the comments, suggestions, and feedbacks. Bear with me as I get through Thanksgiving week. I'm going to try to feed as much content as I can and highlight it as much as I can as I approach that day, but after I'm through that, it should be just fine. Let me know what you want to see. Be sure to like the video because it's the nice thing to do, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.